I want to give a very special welcome to everyone who is here now. Some of us came very early and we appreciate that. I'm sure we are going to have a wonderful time. We won't waste any more time right away. I think we'll introduce or call on Prof. Malcolm, who is the acting Pro Vice Chancellor of the Ghana Communications Technology University, to give us an opening remark for the seminar. So, Prof, over to you, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Odami. Esteemed participants, our distinguished facilitator, Dr. Sanjaya Mishra. Actually, I'm very happy to see you. We've been on platforms, but I've never seen you before, face to face like this. And I'm very happy to be with you on this same platform that we are going to listen to you. And on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, Professor Emmanuel Ohini Afuakwa, we welcome you officially to this important discourse. It is worth noting that when we talk of distant learning, quality is one of the major concerns. That is why in North America, if you even want to embark on distant learning program, you need to go through a whole course called Quality Matters. The idea is to prepare you to know that whatever happens in the traditional bricks and mortar, system is different from what goes on online, because online learning have to go with certain rules and regulations, certain standards, and those standards are the quality measures that have to be put in place. Even the way you design your course materials, there is a standard measures. The mode of delivery, how you deliver it, there must be a way of ensuring that you've embarked on the proper standards. Vis-a-vis even assessment of students, the moderation of the questions, and also up to the graduation level, quality matters. So this afternoon presentation by our distinguished personality, Dr. Sanjaya Mishra, is going to take us through what goes into quality in digital education. He has it all because he has been with Commonwealth of Learning for some time now, and we have been listening to him on the different platforms. And today we are privileged to have him over here to share his thought with us. So on this note, I want to welcome all of you and then hand over back to Dr. Doreen Anyasem Odami to take over from there.
All right, thank you very much, Prof. Malcolm. He's our acting Pro Vice Chancellor, and we appreciate all his efforts so much. I think I would like to give a brief background about Dr. Mishra so that we know who we are with, and then we know the depth of knowledge that we are going to receive and the expectations as well. So Dr. Mishra, he's one of the leading scholars in open distance and online learning and has extensive teaching, staff development, research, policy development, and innovation background. Dr. Mishra has been promoting the use of educational and multimedia learning, e-learning, and e-learning resources to the scientific world, and as well as providing scientific information to increase access in quality online studies and online platforms. He's helped or he's been with institutions like the Open Resources Commonwealth Digital Educational Leadership Training Organization, as well as the Core Commons. And he is a recipient of the ISTD Vive Kant National Award for Excellence in Human Resource Development Training in 2007. Dr. Mishra has written and edited over 300 publications and they come in the form of books, book chapters, peer-reviewed journals, and conference presentations. He also has done some extensive book reviews and distance learning review materials. Whilst he was at UNESCO as a program specialist in ICT, science and culture, he facilitated the adoption of a strategy and policy for open access to scientific information and research. Dr. Mishra serves on the editorial board of several peer-reviewed journals in the field of distance learning and online learning, and he also serves as a board member of the Network for Digital Library of Thesis and Dissertation. So, people, this is who we have. Very strong, armed personality in the online learning space. And we couldn't have had any better resource person. So, Dr. Mishra, we invite you, we are happy to have you, and we cordially invite you now to take the space and let us hear what you have for us this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the introduction and sharing my brief bio. It's highly appreciated. What is more important is to have interaction and learn or share knowledge and experiences which are not found in the books and other resources. So webinars like this provide those kind of opportunity to share personal experiences as well. So I would expect you to take your pen and paper, write down your questions, and ask questions at the end of the presentation. I would like to be very brief and provocative at points so that we can have a conversation. And I believe we have about 45 minutes for that. I would like to take about 20-25 minutes for this presentation today. And what I'm going to talk is quality in digital education, what, why, and how. So I will keep at a very top level view. Many of these things that I may be talking about, probably you are all aware of, but I will also allude to different sources that might help you to go back and learn more if this presentation excites you. So what is that I'm going to talk about? I'm going to focus primarily on higher education and quality assurance with a focus on digital education and to identify and talk about the role of different stakeholders in assuring quality of digital education. It's not just one person's responsibility to have quality and education. In contrary to conventional education, this is the conventional education that we are all familiar of. A classroom, large number of students, and a teacher standing and making the presentation in the classroom. What the student is doing is something else. What the teacher is doing something else sometime. And but in digital education, it is not just the teacher who is responsible for the quality. It's a whole set of ecosystem. There are different stakeholders who must do the right things in the right way to ensure quality of education in the digital way. So before we allude to details into digital education, I think it's very important for us to question what is higher education. Is higher education about a university? Is it about a research center? Is it about college? A college is also does higher education. University also does higher education. A research center also does research at a higher level of educational activities. But broadly, higher education is about higher levels of learning, which includes anything that is beyond normal that we can think about. And when it comes to higher education in broader sense, university is one of the ways of doing higher education, not the only way to do higher education. And universities are primarily known for extension of knowledge through research, dissemination of knowledge through teaching, and promotion of knowledge in the society through extension activities. That's what in general we consider a higher education. And therefore, higher education is not just about knowledge in XYZ subject, but it's about a search for excellence. It's about creativity. It's about more deeper critical inquiry, exploration of truth, discovery, discussion, debate, dialogue, and of course, development and scholarship. So higher education is not just about teaching something in the class. Teaching a subject is one component of higher education. The broader values of higher education is somewhere else. And we need to look at this as a deeper philosophical thought process when we are thinking of digital education quality. That's the reason I want to emphasize on this aspect as well. And I would like to quote Professor Ronald Barnett on this. When he says higher education is and I quote, a genuine higher education is unsettling. It is not meant to be a cozy experience. It is disturbing because ultimately the students come to see that things could always be other than what they are. A higher education experience is not complete unless the student realizes that no matter how much effort is put in or how much library research, there are no final answers. Unquote. This quote from Professor Barnett tells the broader view of higher education. It's not just about course transaction. It's always not about employability of people who are graduating from the universities. Higher education is higher than what we normally think of. And within that context, we need to think about the idea of quality. The idea of quality is different things to different people, and things happen in different contexts. And that's what we need to look at. What is that idea of quality that we are subscribing to? Is it about compliance to standard? Is it about a collective perspective? Is it an epistemic view of quality, particularly in a professional domain? Are we focusing? We need to focus on, from our own perspective, our institutional perspective, what is that idea of quality in higher education that we are looking at? Is it compliance? Is it collective perspective? Is it looking at the domain-centric approach? Is it looking at a consumerist view of the educational transaction, which is a normal practice these days? And are we looking at employability of our graduates or job-oriented thing, or we are looking at a process-oriented approach to maintain quality? And particularly the process-oriented approach comes in the view of the earlier traditional distance education, when learning materials were developed are being developed. Process-oriented approach used to be a very, very common way of looking at things. So what is that we are looking at also is that quality may mean different things to different people, but broadly quality is perceived as exceptional, that it is exceeding the high standards. It's consistency, uniform or zero defect. It's also for some people it's fitness of purpose. No, it is meeting the customer's need or meeting the customer's satisfaction. Some people will go to also to that customer delight. For an institution, from an institutional perspective, it is about value for money, that the kind of investment that we are making, are we getting the right returns on investment? It's also from the student point of view, the amount of fees that I'm paying, am I getting the value of the services that I... But for many of us, it is transformative in terms of qualitative change that brings in within the system or in the life cycle of a student. So the good quality education, higher education, or good quality digital education should be transformative for the students as such. So, I want to emphasize, way back, I wrote a book on quality assurance in higher education, an introduction, where I tried to integrate different things and said that quality is about continuous improvement. It's not something static. It is something that we need to continuously improve. So there is no end point of quality. It it continues to improve. So if you are in one state today, you are, and even if you are in the very good quality in the X state, you are moving to Y state, which is a higher level of quality. So quality as continuous improvement, which has no, there is an input to it, there are certain processes to it, and there are certain outcomes to it. Quality needs to be looked from the point of view of inputs, process, and outputs. It's not just the outcomes of the education system which should be looked at as quality. The inputs should also need to be quality. Yeah, because the inputs many a times decides on how things happens within the organization as a process, and what outcomes that is coming into. So that's something that I would like to emphasize, that quality as continuous improvement, and quality needs to be considered at each level of the activity, and it's not an end in itself, or it's not an evaluation of the end product. There are large number of tools available, and I will highlight to some of the tools, but there are two main quality assurance models that are adopted by institutions around the world. One is internal quality assurance, and the other one is external quality assurance. I think the internal quality assurance is the minimum level of quality assurance that needs to be done, and external quality assurance is many times are given from outside, that there is a legal mandatory requirement to have certain quality, and assessment by an external agency as quality to establish the quality that X institution or X program is of good quality in nature. So many times, both internal and external quality assurance models are applied in order to assure quality. But measuring quality always comes with certain issues and challenges. And those issues, those are normally identified in higher education. What are the problems of higher education? The problems of higher education looks at the low employability of graduates, or poor quality of teaching, or weak governance in the institution, or insufficient funding, or there is a complex regulatory norms, especially for distance and online learning in different countries. So the whole quality domain in higher education is already complex due to the issues that the higher education system is already facing in many countries around the world. And within that, we are looking at the quality for digital education. And for us, digital education is largely a convergence of technologies. And we could really think about keeping digital education at a broader level. And we can talk about face-to-face courses where information and communication technology are integrated, to the completely online or distance learning, use of mobile learning or massive open online courses, and in between, the use of blended learning approach. So digital education is a combination of everything that we are doing, but it all depends on the institution, the modalities that is adopted in the institution. Institution could adopt a digital education university. If a university is adopting digital education, it could use all the approaches from the face-to-face AICT integration to completely online, massive open online courses. So, but in terms of technology use in digital education, I normally talk about three approaches to learning from technology, learning in technology, and learning with technology. The use of technology in education decides on how quality is assured as a process or as an input or as an outcome. So what is that we are giving to students? Students are learning from technology using a digital textbook, using television programs, or using videos online, or the technology is integrated in a form that provides the learner a comprehensive view of opportunities, which largely happens through online learning and digital learning, or we are using the technologies to help the students do something, complete their assignments, do projects, develop programs. So they are engaged with technology. So different uses of technologies will decide the way we are looking at technology is quality assurance as such. What are those different types of uses that are happening so far? Today there is increased use of video, whether it is in our mobile phone or streaming videos or webinars like this. And what is allowing is having better two-way interaction between students and the teachers. So that's one of the advantages that are coming in, that video is getting more and more utilized. And this will ensure how to increase quality of those videos or quality of those webinars or quality of the student engagement and interaction. There is also increased use of open educational resources in digital education. Huge amount of learning materials with open licenses are being available around the world in different topics, and these are being utilized by teachers. So ensuring the quality of those materials that are developed by others and before integrating into your course material is something of very important. And of course, the learning management system, without this, there is no online learning system. There is some sort of learning management system used in every online learning or digital learning environment. These helps us to track students' reporting, even understanding or analyzing how the students are performing using learning analytics. It helps us also to create a more engaging and constructive-based learning environment, and also empowers the teacher to be less dependent on technology staff, and offer 24/7 services, which is something that digital education expects, that students can join in anytime and ask a question anytime, and therefore they would expect responses as quick as possible. Assessment has also become very important in a digital world, and because of digitalization and because of the emergence of AI and other tools now, alternative assessments are becoming very important. How can we integrate alternative assessment, oral interactive assessment, online proctored examination? How can we use mobile apps for conducting examination, and so on and so forth? These are process oriented, which has implications for the outcome of a course or a program, and therefore these also need to be looked at quality assurance. And of course, a huge number of courses and programs are available now online. As an institution, our issue is that whether we should reinvent the wheel or we should allow students also to take courses from other fields, other universities, and we provide them credits for those courses. No, that kind of flexibility and how quality will be having impact, or will have impact because of those kind of things. that allowing students to take online learning courses from other universities or other institutions as such. So broadly, there are 4 different dimensions of quality, and it all depends on how a particular institution looks into a product. I call it PSPP approach. A product as the quality of learning materials, media, and technologies, and of course the completion. You know how many students are completing. The service dimension, how is the examination conducted, how the admission is done, how the feedback is given to student, what is the nature of engagement and interaction. The process aspect is that what are the system's quality dimension, how responsiveness the system is, and the system here is not just the technology system, the human resource system. How the operational scheduling are helping students to accomplish their goal. And broadly, what is the philosophy of quality? What is the quality philosophy that the institution focuses on? How openness is inbuilt in digital education? How access and equity is fostered through digital education? Those are the philosophical issues of quality needs to be looked at when we are looking at digital education as such. Digital education or any educational institution would have challenges while applying quality issues, but digital education has certain key issues currently that is being faced. One is contract cheating. The second one is copying online, or use of generative AI, student access to technology, particularly poor access to technology in many places, poor bandwidth for students, capacity of teachers, very significant, and preparedness of institutions. Many institutions adopt online learning without being looking into their own preparedness, whether they are able to host a good quality learning management system or not, whether their teachers are ready or not. So they don't look at the system perspective, but they just jump into the bandwagon kind of thing. So in order to have quality digital education, I think it is very important that some of the challenges are addressed and considered well to ensure the quality of digital education. The academic integrity is very important, and this is something that makes quality digital education more important. And within that context, I think it's very important that focus is given more and more on authentic assessment and preparing students for the higher education. Many times we use similarity detection tools and tell that, okay, this is copied or this is not copied or like that. But the false positive of those technology systems are questionable. The responses are questionable. So I think it's important for us to look at how best we can utilize available tools with us in terms of checking student academic integrity or teachers' academic integrity as such. So I'll come to the last part of the presentation on identifying the key stakeholders. The common principles of quality is same, and I would like to highlight the principles of quality, which is from CHIA, the American organization, and the quality principles should, whether it is digital education or conventional education, we should focus on the quality principles in general. It's the responsibility of the provider and its staff to ensure quality. Quality is judged by how it meets the needs of the society and sustain public trust. Now, as an higher education institution, we have a responsibility towards the society to provide the best quality education. Governments also play some a critical role. They need to foster and quality, and they need to support quality indicators and benchmarks to be set up in their own countries. Higher education providers and Accreditation agencies must be accountable and provide evidence of quality. Accreditation agencies are responsible for ensuring the implementation of quality process and standards. And quality higher education must be flexible, creative, and innovative to meet the needs of the stakeholders. So from those point of view, the stakeholders, students are also stakeholders, teachers, parents, educational institutions, governments and society, accreditation agencies and employer. Everyone has certain responsibility in the ecosystem of quality in digital education. Everyone should look at. We must also think about student. Is student a consumer? You know, it's important that we prepare the students for academic integrity, not that they know everything. It's many a times they do things because of their naiveness. They don't know what is not acceptable standards. So preparing students for accreditation is important. Student satisfaction is not always the great indicator of quality. Students is actually a collaborator in higher education, and I sometimes say that student is an entrepreneur who is investing his time and money in in the education system and taking a risk for his or her future. And the student is broadening her opportunities by taking certain risk in the organization. So the student is not just a consumer, and it should not be looked from those point of view. A teacher's perspective is the teachers are more focused on research. Teaching is many times given low priority, but in digital education, students, the teachers take more time to prepare learning materials. They need to have more engagement with the students, because the student is not there on with them on face-to-face situation, like face-to-face situation. So they need to focus more on students' perspective and understand what is the student needs when they are not on the same space and time for learning. The teachers are many times concerned about issues of academic freedom and other things. Quality has impact from those point of view as well. Job security, tenure also has impact on the quality of what the teachers do. Parents are concerned about cost of education, and their perception of quality is very important. They normally look at graduation rate, whether there's this placements are happening or not. What is the acceptance rate for admission in that particular university? So those issues our parents are looking. So institution also need to look at these things from their own perspective, and particularly from the institutional perspective of quality, the leadership matters. The more leaders focus emphasis on quality, the more people take steps to ensure quality. A process-based approach in digital education is more suitable, and there is a need for making quality a culture uh, um, in every respect of things, focusing on human resource, training them, uh, recruiting the right people, and of course, improving the curricula. What you teach is the curricula, and if your curriculum is not updated or not to the point, for not industry oriented, quality is definitely going to suffer. So a lot of issues on quality perspectives from that. I won't want to focus more on this government aspects here, but it is very important to focus on the policy of the government. What is that the government is looking at? Is the government looking at improving gross enrollment ratio? Are they providing certain regulatory frameworks that the institutions need to follow? Is there financial incentives to organizations or institutions that are associated with quality? Many times, public universities faces this, that quality is the indicator to get the funding they expect. So accreditation agencies, particularly in terms of external quality assurance, play a very important role in terms of accreditation of the programs or courses or the whole institution as such. So employers, it's very important, particularly institutions need to look at employers' demand and needs when you are offering industry-oriented courses and programs. There is also a possibility that industry can also defray the cost of education if there is a strong collaboration, and that might leads to improvement in quality, improvement in the curriculum with the support of the industry. So quality is actually a multi-stakeholder concept, and within that concept, uh, higher education institutions have certain roles, and they must clarify their model of digital education. They need to adopt a quality framework and develop their internal quality assurance guidelines. They need to have a quality assurance cell to monitor, provide training on quality to teachers, uh, develop a quality policy, and of course, they need to monitor by gathering regular feedback for improvement. As I said, improvement is my way of looking at things, as quality is a continuous process of continuous improvement. So there are a lot of resources available at Commonwealth of Learning. We have guidelines for quality assurance and accreditation of MOOCs, guidelines for quality assurance of open educational resources, uh, quality assurance of blended learning, quality assurance of or benchmarking of technology-enabled learning, or a model for a review and quality improvement of distance education as such. I request you all to go to oasis.call.org and explore these resources available. And last but not the least, I would like to emphasize this free course on quality assurance of blended and online learning. This is a free course. I encourage all of you to join this course today at callcommons.org. This is a free course, and it's a very short course, and you will be able to spend in 2-3 hours time, depending on how you spend your time, you will be able to get a certificate on quality assurance of blended and online learning from this platform. With that, I would like to stop here and thank each one of you for your patience listening, and apologize again for the goof off about the slides not moving in the initial stage. But I would share the presentation with Dr. Frank, and at this stage, I would be happy to take up any question that you might have, or a comment that you might have. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. You've exceeded our expectations. And there are a lot of questions. They are already flowing in our chat box. Mr. Enoch, would you like to present your question yourself, or I should read it out? If you are online, maybe you can present it yourself. It's better from the owner himself.
All right. Thank you,
Yes, sir.
Dr. Adame. My name is Enoch, and I'm from Kenya. I teach, currently, I'm the director of open distance e-learning and continuing education at Garissa University.
Wow.
And it's a new directorate, and we are venturing into this because we know it is a possibility to reach out to marginalized communities, especially in giving them opportunity. Now, in some other platforms, we have talked about, first of all, I would like to thank Professor Sanjaya for a very elaborate and a very educative presentation. Mine is just to go straight to in terms of collaboration. You see now, this e-learning or distance learning can capture from different parts of the globe. And in this, like a regular university, we have exchange programs where students travel to other countries for exchange programs. And I just was thinking about this in terms of e-learning, collaborative in terms of exchange, distance exchange programs among institutional. However, we have also policies for e-learning or distance learning from different institutions across the world. So, I mean, how sustainable is this in terms of quality? of programs offered in terms of quality of the education, in terms of quality of the market that is, expecting the graduates out of distance learning. So is this a sustainable approach? And what are the quality measures that should be taken to capture this, to bring this into perspective? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Enoch, and I'm glad that you are coming from Kenya for this session, and it's a good example, Prof. Dr. Frank, that you have been able to reach across borders. Congratulations. The response to your question is within your question itself, Professor, because as you say, it's already happening, particularly in the context of face-to-face education. But in digital education, things are a little differently happening. And when it comes to quality, it is always up to the institutions or up to the country, the way it happens. Unfortunately, nobody questions the quality of face-to-face education as such. But we always get questions about online education or distance education, because our mindset as of today, because we are all trained in the face-to-face education system. We are not trained in distance education or online education system. So we always look at that as something different. But today's children who are all digital, when they will grow up, they will see face-to-face education as, what is this? Is it a good quality thing? Should I spend time on the going to face-to-face things? They might do like that. I'm just alluding to a thought of that. So we have a mindset of questioning something that is new always. Okay, for hundreds of years, face-to-face education is there. So we take it for granted. We don't ask that question. So digital education is being asked those questions, online education. But the exchange things that you are telling is happening in different way. And that is what is called, a new trend is called micro-credential, which is more industry-oriented and trans-border recognition of qualifications happening through different international tools, like UNESCO has a qualification recognition of qualification framework convention, which is adopted by the countries so that it is respected. But in terms of online things, it is up to the institutions to provide credits for courses offered by other institutions. In terms of exchanges, because the students are not traveling from one place to the other. Student in Ghana can take a course from India or US or UK sitting in Ghana. So what is important is the university in Kenya or university in Ghana need to identify courses which that their students can take and assure that those courses are quality courses and recommend to their students. So the students, there is no exchange of students anymore, but the students are taking those courses from their own country. What is important is that institutions can have those collaborations, twinning arrangements, or okay, you recognize my courses, I recognize your courses based on certain principles of quality assurance. So I think these are the things that are the norm, and in my view, they are better sustainable than developing your own courses, everything yourself. It's always better to have collaboration with others and develop digital education. It helps everybody to gain a lot, and I think it's more sustainable approach. Thank you for the question. I hope I responded reasonably to your question.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Mr. Enoch, please, do you have a follow-up? Or you are okay?
Thank you, Prof. I think this is quite elaborate and enough. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, sir. Dr. Loglo, do you want to read out your question or I should read it out? In the meantime, please, to all our esteemed participants, if you have a question, kindly put up your hand right after we've addressed the online, the questions in the chat box. we'll come to you, and then once your hand is up, we'll call you to ask your question. So please, if you have a question or a contribution, kindly put up your hand and we'll address it so very well. Dr. Loglo, please, let's hear your question.
Right, Dr. Dami, thanks. So, in his presentation, when he was talking about the challenges, including issues of accessibility, access to devices and the rest. So I was just wondering, in these kinds of contexts, where internet access is limited, even technology in general, how do you approach quality assurance, the implementation of quality assurance in such contexts?
I think this is very important, Dr. Frank. One of the things that I talked about is that the model of digital education is very important. What model of digital education is adopted by the institution will decide quality, because a university which will tell that, oh, all my programs are online, that means you are creating a scenario that your students will have that bandwidth access to your programs and things. That's one way. The other way is that you develop your system in such a way that it accommodates to low bandwidth situation and other things. So that model. On the other hand, a university says, oh no, we adopt a blended approach. Certain courses are online. We provide multimodal approach. So depending on what is that being provided. So if an institution's focus is access and equity is primary, their model of digital education would be different than those whose focus is not just on access and equity, but providing education at a high cost, for example, or reaching those who are already reached, kind of thing. So the model will decide. Within that model, what I have been promoting for a long time is to look at the input, process, and outcome approach and a continuous improvement. So everything that is being done is looked from a quality perspective, a quality mindset, a fitness of purpose, or doing the right thing, or doing it correct the first time. Many times think, oh, no, we are improving, but we will do the wrong thing. I said, sorry, we must do the right thing at first and then keep improving. Not do the wrong thing and learn from the mistake and continuous improvement. That means you are giving certain wrong things to people. And I have been asking this question to each one of the academic around the world. There were questions about distance education, online learning every time. When the pandemic struck, everybody went to distance learning. If distance learning and online learning was poor quality before, how come it become good quality for 2 years? Okay, so it's about a mindset of things. So quality is a culture, and we can look at quality from at every level. In a low bandwidth situation, lack of internet situation. So what is important, you can provide printed learning materials to students if they do not have access. So it's not antithesis to digital education. No. So you can provide offline devices and in remote centers. Students can walk into a remote center and access digital education. I can tell you there are places in many developed countries as well where access to technology is a problem, and the governments create access centers for students where they can come to that access center or community learning centers and can access learning materials from any university, not just one university. So it's about creating that access points and ensuring quality from those perspectives, whether it is an institution to do that or it's a government to do that. is something debatable. But the broader thing is, what is the model of digital education that is being followed? What is my philosophy of digital education, or what is my philosophy of quality assurance as such?
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Please
Yeah,
keep the questions.
Doc,
Can I think?
I want to contribute, Doc.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good. Thank you very much, Dr. Sanjaya Mishra. You've actually nailed it all. And I'm very happy our colleagues and other colleagues outside are here, in the sense that when it comes to distance and digital learning, the component of quality is very, very important. It's important in the sense that if the whole structures are not well standardized and one person is doing something different from the other, then it creates problem. That is why the input, the process, and also the outcome is very key in this context. And if you are designing even the course material, and then the course material varies from even looking at the structure of the syllabus and is different from one another, then it creates problem for standardization. So the templates that are being issued by the ICDE or the institution that delivers that digital distant learning program must be adhered to. And also the content, the materials that are going to be there for the students. Many are those who think that you can just dump face-to-face materials for distant learning students. That is not the order of the day. The classroom, the traditional, bricks and mortar system is different from that of distant learning, because the learners are at large. They are self-regulated in the sense that they learn based on their own time and their own, convenience. So if the materials are not well designed and it doesn't even involve them in the process, then it becomes something that will lead to high level of attrition. So I'm very happy you touch on those elements over there, the idea of quality, which also will be well established. And also I'm very important about the way you structure the quality in terms of the stakeholders, what they have at stake, in terms of even the institution that is delivering, the facilitators, the students, parents, government, and also the regulatory bodies. Like in Ghana here, we call them Ghana Tertiary Education Commission. I quite remember when they were about to actually come out with modalities for the distance and e-learning. Some of us had opportunity to meet with the board or the board of directors, or what we call the council. And one person asked a question that with all distant learning, they don't believe in it. We should convince them that whatever the students are going to do, whatever assessment they are going to do will be like, their own. And we told them that that is not 100% proof, but there are ways of ensuring that we have the quality standard. And you raise it in your presentation, the way we even formulate our questions is very, very important. The design of the questions are key. At the advent of AI, students are using AI tools to outwit some of the lecturers. So it means that we, the lecturers or facilitators, have to be on the game. We have to know where the students are going, where they are picking their materials from, and how we can also help them to be able to, use some of these AI so that they will not be doing cut and paste all along in terms of their presentation of assessment. So this is just a short, add-on that I want to also put through. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prof. Thank you so much. and we can keep the questions coming. I think looking at our time, we can have one or two. But before we go on quickly, if we can all put on our cameras as much as we can. If you are in a convenient environment, kindly put on your camera. Let's have a quick snapshot so that in future we'll be proud to say we're part of that seminar. We were there. So please, if you can, kindly put on your camera. Um, Dr. Loglo, is the team helping us take the picture or I do it myself?
As many people as possible can do
Yeah,
it.
please. Um, okay. Yeah, so please, as many of us that can take the picture as possible, please let's do. We'll keep sharing it and
You
spraying
have
the whole
very
of the
good
continent.
number of people attending, and
Yes,
I think
yes, yes.
your expectation has been exceeded.
Exceeded. Yes, definitely. As many of us that can take pictures, please do. Thank you very much. So please, any more question before we start rounding up? Any more question? Okay, so Mr. Ali is informing us in the chat box that the Commission for University Education in Kenya has set out the guidelines and standard for open and distance learning. So this is like a national standardization process for Kenya, and I think it's the good way to go from what we are learning today. All right. Any more question, please? Otherwise, looking at our time, I think we'll call on Prof. Malcolm to give us the closing remark. Then we can gradually be bringing the curtains down.
Thank you very much, Dr. Odami. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that we've done justice to this topic. Thank you very much, Dr. Sanjaya Mishra, for such a very insightful presentation. You nailed it very well. I mean, not any other person than you, who is also coming from Commonwealth of Learning, which champions a lot of issues pertaining to, quality distance education, they call it delivery. I quite remember when I was at UPSA, I got my first grant from Commonwealth of Learning to design, a training model for, and also a policy for distance, open and distant learning. And I think that now that we are also in the same level, we'll also be coming to you for your support for our ICD program so that we can actually have resources and specifically the areas that we want your support in. So I'm very grateful for this evening's presentation. I've made my contribution already, which I actually teased it up from your presentation. And anytime we are going to have another innovative session in coming months, and we'll definitely reach out to you so that you can be one of our panelists for that presentation. We'll get back to you, sir. And thank you very much for your presentation. Thank you,
All
Doctor.
right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Prof. Malcolm. And at this juncture, we want to thank all our participants for making time to join us. It's been so encouraging. We had 52 numbers from all over Africa joining, and this is such a good mark. We are very grateful. We want to thank the ICDE team, Dr. Loglo and his team, for this amazing job preparing and putting all of us, organizing and putting us together for this program.